Okay guys, welcome back. We're still on data handling, and now we're going to be talking about summarizing data. Previously, we organized data with stem and leaf diagrams, and now we're going to summarize data. By the end of this video, you're going to have filled in a couple of formulas in this mean box here. We're really going to deal with what mean, medium, and mode is. I found this very confusing when I was younger, so I'm really going to help you get a good grasp of understanding here. Right, so mean is average, medium is middle, and the mode is the most frequent. Now this is what I'm just going to keep showing you at the beginning of each of these videos to really reinforce that the mean is the average amount of terms. It's a much more common term used. The medium is the middle term, and then we're going to talk about why we're going to need that, or why it might be of use. And then the mode is the most frequent term. So what is the mean or average? When do we use mean or average, and when would you have seen it? You might have heard about a batting average. Maybe you have one yourself. You might have heard about the average amount of rain in a certain area. Or you might have got an average or seen a class average on one of your reports that you got from school. So we're going to do an example to start off with the cricket average. For your under 14 cricket team, in your first 8 matches, you scored the following runs. So these are the matches 1 to 8. On your first day, you scored 22, or your first match, you scored 22 runs. Then you got a duck. Then you got 17, 54, that's well done. You got 21, you got 41, you got 11, you got 26. So these are your runs. So now let's work out our average. So what was your mean score? What was your average is what you might have heard. Your mean, your average in the 8 games. So we're going to say mean is average. Keep reminding yourself that mean is the average. And that is the total score in all the games divided by the number of games you played. So we're going to add up all of these games, 22 plus 0 plus 17 plus 54 all the way to 26. And we're going to divide that by the 8 games that you played. So that's 192 divided by 8, and then you can use your calculator here to get you an average of 24 runs. So on average, in each game, you score 24 runs, and that's what you see when you see on television somebody's batting average. This works out to a nice round number, but what if we change the 17 to 14 over here? Let's move it into this formula here, 22, and we've just changed to 14, so this number becomes 3 less, and we got 89. So now 89 divided by 8, unfortunately is not a round number, it's 23.625. Now this, even though it's impossible to score 23.625 runs, this is still your average, and we can round it up there if you want. Always check the question to see how many decimal points you can round it down to, or up to. So what was your mean score in the first 2 games out of interest? What was your average in the first 2 games? Let us just focus on these 2 games here. So we're going to add up the total score, and that is 22 plus 0. And we're going to divide that by the number of games, which is 2. And it's quite easy to see that the mean score is 11. And that is what our mean score is. So mean is equal to average. It's the total score in all the games divided by the number of games. But we need a general formula. What do I mean when I say general formula? It means in any case, i.e. any set of data. It doesn't have to be cricket. So the mean, or the average, is the sum of all the data values divided by the number of data values. So in this case, the sum of all the data values was the total score, divided by the number of values, and that was the number of games. So this is what you need to write down and remember. That is a very important formula. Okay, let's go back to our cricket example. So you've got your match, you've got your runs. Now these matches, 1 to 8, these are your N values, from N1 to N8. Now, you might not have done this yet at school, but it's certainly something you're going to be doing in the future, and it's easy and worth learning. Your runs are your X values, X1 to X8. Now, the mean, remember, is the sum of all data values divided by the number of data values. So we denote the sum as a sigma. there's a big Greek sum. So this, if you ever see this, it simply means sum. The mean we donate as X bar. X with a top on it. X bar. It means average of the X's. And the number of data values is an N. So here we can define the sum or the mean as the sum of all the X values divided by the number of values. So what this formula is saying is exactly what you read there. So the mean is the sum of all the data values X divided by the total number of data values. This is exactly the same as that. So in our formula here, we're going to put in mean, and we're going to say it's our formula of the sum of all data values divided by the number of data values, and that means the exact same as X bar is equal to sigma X divided by N. So that is the mean is equal to the sum of all X divided by N. Now I'm going to quickly go across to some Excel things, and I think Excel is a brilliant way to learn statistics, and it's such an important program. And most of you, if you're watching this on a computer, will have access to Excel, and I really encourage you to have some fun and play around with this stuff at home. Okay, here we are now talking about the mean or the average on Microsoft Excel. Now I really encourage you to give this a try. Copy down this data on your own Excel spreadsheet and try the formulas. Now the sum. Now this is the exact cricket score we have just played with. We have all our sums down the side. Now to do a sum in Excel, you can go sum is equal. You always start a formula with equals. 22 plus, and we just write plus, plus that, plus, and you can see me putting the formula up in the top, plus that, plus that, plus that, plus that, plus that. Right, so that's our sum. That's all of it. And then the number of terms, we can see that there's 8 matches, right? So we can do an average. Now, average is equal to the sum of all the matches divided, we just use this / to divide, by the number of terms, which is 8. And that we got 24. And that is right. Now, what if we change that to 14, like in our previous example? So we got 14. There's 23.625, which is exactly the same as we got. So this can save us a lot of time. Now, something else that is great, you can also use the sum formula. So what if we go equals sum? So we equal sum, and we open the brackets, and then we drag it over all of these. We put the brackets there, and we say enter. And then we get the sum is 560. We could do the same over here. We could get rid of this whole formula, and we could go equals sum is the sum of all of these here. And you'll see that will equal 189, exactly the same. We can use the count formula to count how many n terms there are here. And count would deliver us the term 7. You can see there's 1 less than there were here, 7. And then we can go the average would be that divided by that again, and we get 80. You can also use the average formula where you go average, A-V-E-R-A-G-E, open brackets, collect all the formulas, and do that. And there it gives you the average. If we change it to 17, you'll get the same formula. I don't want you to practice using the average formula, but it is something worth knowing. See if you can fill in these blocks here by copying this data down once you've paused the video. You should get an average of 15.8. Good luck!